guys, RW down here in the shop. It's a Sunday. I am totally on my own, so I can do whatever I want. I have no client orders to be filled. Nobody's pestering me. I've got nothing else to do, so what did I do? I decided to paint my shotgun. You know, before I painted my High Point carbine after I did all these crazy mods to it, and hydro dipped it and stuff, and I was thinking about hydro dipping the shotgun. Well, I just had this itch. I just really wanted to change the color of it. It had seen a lot of use, about 10 years of use. It had been put away, not in the best condition sometimes, and so there'd been little bits of rust and, you know, wear and tear on it and stuff. I thought, what the heck, let's refresh this thing. So the first thing I did was I took it down to bits, and I cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it. And, you know, what you're seeing in there now is the schmutza from paint and me pushing stuff through it. But, you know, considering the thousands and thousands of rounds that this shotgun has shot, and most of them being wax slugs, the barrel looks great. There was some rust and corrosion in this tube as well. Probably can't see in there as well as the other one, but I did the best I could to get that out. I just ran a bunch of Scotch-Brite pads through there like 100 times. This is so new that there wasn't really anything wrong with this. And then I just painted just the plastic part. You know, I masked everything off. I didn't feel like taking it apart. Heated it up with some Krylon Ultrafusion, and then I sprayed the epoxy over that. Because epoxy takes a hella long time to dry on plastic, but it doesn't seem to take very long to dry over Krylon. Did the same here. Rubber butt pad. Hit it up with Krylon Ultrafusion. Then I hit it up with the epoxy. Seems to work. Same with the Hogue overmolded. You can actually see the color of the, this is the color of the Krylon Ultrafusion. It's more of a greenish color. And then this is that brownish color. I'd actually like to mix the two of them, the green and the brown together. To me, look really cool together. But then this has just been blasted with angular grit. It's glass, angular glass. It's not glass bead. It's not sand. It's angular glass. And I think it's 150 grits what I went with, just to give it some surface texture to grab onto. Same with the barrel. And same with all the metal parts, actually. Anything metal got blasted. This is aluminum, so I just pitted the anodizing and ditto on this. This is steel, so I got that down to the bare steel. This is just anodizing, so I pitted it to get it to grab. Took it all apart. Got the little parts over here. Didn't do anything to the shuttle. You know, the stuff that moves. Didn't see any reason to worry about painting it, and I'm not worried about painting here. This thing will run so full of crud, so I'm not worried about a little paint on some areas it's going to rub off and get caught in the works. It's not even going to affect it. It doesn't care. It's a honey badger. It'll run no matter what. So, and of course the beautiful wood stock, which is now pretty old and has held up remarkably well, despite the fact that the only piece of wood I had a piece right there that when I was carving and sculpting, it turned out to be the worst possible place for a knot. Doesn't seem to affect the strength of it at all. Nothing has happened to it. It's seen a lot of use, and all I did was just rub it down with some steel wool and wipe it down with some linseed oil and then buff it out, and it looks great. Not sure I'm going to go with this optic in the future. It's what I've got. It works okay, but I don't like it. Don't like this. I want to get a barrel clamp with a sling on it. Not sure if I want to use this. This was for my single point. I honed it down to make it fit the MS3 clip. It's okay. I just don't know if I like it. I don't know if I want to use it. Really not sure, because I kind of want to sling it in a traditional manner. From there to here. It's kind of where I want to sling it. It's kind of how I like it. And I've tried the single point, and it's okay, I guess. If you like that sort of thing. I kind of like being able to flip the thing around on my back, get it out of my way. So, you can see where I'm headed. I'm going to be doing some assembling. And I'll show you what everything looks like once I got it back together. The paint that I used is not specific for guns. I decided to try something. This is sort of just an experiment on seeing how well this stuff holds up. But, oh, where the heck did I put it? Out here. Here we go. So this is the stuff. It's Duplicolor engine enamel, ceramic, 500 degree. I don't care about the temperature rating. What I was interested in was the ceramic. And then on the back label here, it says that you need to apply 2 light coats followed by 1 medium wet coat. Apply all coats within 1 hour, allowing 10 minutes between each coat. For additional coats after 1 hour, you have to wait 7 days for the paint to cure. Dries to the touch in 1 hour, can be handled in 3 hours. So it sounds a lot like an epoxy to me. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like an epoxy enamel and has ceramic in it. And I know the ceramic kind of adds toughness. It's not just about the heat dissipation, but I'm sure it would add a certain level of toughness. And when I was applying it, it did remind me of the Bernal's Alumahide in that it's a pain in the ass. It's really thick. It comes out thick, and when it hits the surface, if you're too close, it foams. It literally hits the surface, foams up, then liquefies, and then lays out in this big puddle, and you get a run, and it's hideous. But if you're extremely careful and you're exactly the right distance away and you just fog down a coat, fog down a coat, fog down a coat, fog down a coat, you can build up a nice thin layer that grabs really good. And I didn't want to put down too much paint on areas that I know are going to wear. I just put what I felt was exactly the right amount, enough to give it coverage. And then later, if I like this enough, I'm going to knock it down, take the sheen off of it, and then I'm going to probably put some matte over it, if I like it. Not sure if I like it. Going to find out. Thinking about hydro dipping it. Not sure if I want to do that either. It might be really neat to take this same M2D and use a different base color. I think it might look really wild. It might be really fun. But it's also a shit ton of work. You know, and I also kind of want to see how well this is going to hold up. So this has only been a day, so after a week this could really see some use. You know, you drag it around, see how it scuffs and stuff, see how things hold on to it. Plastic parts were shot with the Krylon Ultrafusion first and then the epoxy. Really not sure. It's still nice and flexible. So it's not like the paint's going to flake off from the flexing action on the rubber. It's not going to happen. And it still has some nice grip and texture to it. So I think it's going to do. I think it's going to look pretty wild. You know, it's all color matched. It's just going to be kind of trippy, you know. You know, the colors, just something you don't see every day. And kind of what I thought was so fun about it was this is $5. You know, by the time you buy a $13 can of paint with $8 worth of shipping, you spent $25 to get 1 can of Alumahide. It's a pain in the ass. The stuff takes forever to dry. What the heck, man? If it wears off, if it flakes off, if it strips off, that's what the blast cabinet's for. So, you know, I'm not too worried about it. Really not too worried about it. It's an experiment, you know. It's just to see what happens, see how I like it, and to do something and amuse myself, and perhaps amuse you and give you some ideas. I mean, if you can just go get some engine enamel and spray your gun, and it looks okay and it holds up, why not? I mean, you know, unless you're making an heirloom quality piece. I mean, if you're just gonna drag the thing around through the woods and shoot it, and what the heck? Does it really matter? Does it have to be Duracoat? Does it have to be Alumahide? I don't know. I mean, I understand the reason behind these things. why there are products specific for guns, but I found that in the past that there's a lot of stuff where it's marketing. You get something that's specific to a particular application, and then all of a sudden it's 3 times as much because it's just for this. And then you find out that it's made by the same company that makes all the other paint products or whatever for somebody else anyway, and it just has a different label on the can, you know. So, who knows? We'll find out, won't we? We'll see how it holds up to wear and tear.